Hey, what's up everybody? I am Felrus, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends, back with another live arena video and guide. This time we are covering High Keeper Prysma, who I recently built out during CVC. I think she's a very interesting champion, or I think it's a he, right? Champion lore says he. Yeah, he has performed his duty. Yeah, so this champion is really interesting. I quite like him. I think he's very good, and I think he has some niche use cases. Like, obviously, I think after reading his kit, it'll be clear that the two places he will shine the most are going to be Arena and Hydra, but I think he has some other use cases potentially as well. We're gonna get to all of that in just a sec. Real quick, click the link in the description to get a free Bambus as well as Ugo at level 15. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. This is where you'll find your free Bambus as well as Ugo at level 15. This gives you an insane start in Raid Shadow Legends, so click that link and let's crush this together. And so, first of all, what exactly does this guy do? Well, on his A1, he attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 35% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. After attacking, transfers all debuffs from the ally with the most debuffs to the target. Will not transfer stun, freeze, sleep, fear, true fear, provoke, petrification, and sheep debuffs. That books to 50% chance to stun on each hit, so the chance of that failing is very, very low. On the A2, this one is what makes the champion so good. Shining Blitz books to a 3-turn cooldown, so this is very, very short cooldown skill. Attacks one enemy before attacking, removes all buffs from the target. The ally with the highest crit damage will team up and join the attack. The ally joining the attack will use their default skill and ignore 35% of the target's defense. If the enemy is killed by the ally joining this attack, activates an instant turn effect on that ally, right? So this is very similar to Teox and Mad Hatter, right? Theirs is slightly better, but this is better for Arena because if the enemy is killed, activates an instant turn on the ally, which is just absolutely fantastic, especially in the team we are going to be running this guy in for Arena. Now, he will also give an extra 35% ignore defense, which is great for champions that already ignore defense, which most of your main damage dealers will. And he has a buff strip, right? So he can potentially remove Stone Skin before your ally with the highest crit damage goes in and wipes them, right? Goes in and wipes the team potentially, as you will see later. All right, and then on the A3, Revival Radiance on a 4-turn cooldown when booked, revives a dead ally with 75% HP and 75% turn meter. Places a 50% increase attack buff and a perfect veil buff on that ally for 2 turns. Great revive, right? Great revive. It is single target on a rather long cooldown, but 75% HP and 75% turn meter is probably what you need for Arena. And then the passive here. The passive is very interesting. Light Marked. At the start of this champion's turn, has a 40% chance to remove any block debuffs buffs from each enemy and replace them with block buffs debuffs. Also has a 40% chance to remove any buffs positively affecting stats and replace them with their mirrored debuff equivalent, such as increase attack being replaced with decrease attack. Buffs such as continuous heal and strengthen will be replaced with heal reduction and weaken debuffs respectively. So this guy, he just flips the team's buffs, which is really good against like Sifi, all that kind of stuff. Won't work against protected buffs, I assume, but still a very strong passive, especially for Hydra. I think Hydra is where that passive shines, but we will see. As far as a relic is concerned, we have the Hand of Uncreation, reduces the chances of applying debuff, stealing or removing buff, stealing turn meter, or increasing a skill's cooldown against the wearer by 10%. And we went with defensive gemstones with the circular. Turn meter reduction effects from enemies are 10% less effective on the wearer. We have 2 of those, so 20% less effective turn meter reduction effects when they do get off. And then for our pentagonal gemstone, the wearer gains 3% turn meter whenever an enemy loses 25% or more HP. Cannot gain more than 20% turn meter in a single turn. Awesome stuff. So as far as gear goes, we actually built him. I keep saying her. It's a him. We built him relatively slow. So he's at 248 speed with 55k HP and 2.2k defense and 475 accuracy so that he can land those buff strips and the stuns. Nice to know that the buff strip here doesn't need books, so that's great as well. So but low speed, and the reason we went with low speed is because where we are going to be using him is with the cat. So the Cheshire Cat here has an AoE A1. Attacks one enemy. If this champion is under a veil or perfect veil buff, attacks all enemies instead. Places a perfect veil buff on this champion for 1 turn. Right? So the Cheshire Cat here, he has an extra turn if the attack kills an enemy, where he goes into his A1. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have Prysma come in here with the A2, get another AoE, which will give the cat an instant turn, and he'll just AoE again. So basically, he goes in, AoEs, kills someone squishy like a Wukong, right? And then he gets an extra turn. He comes in with this A1. If they're still not wrecked, Prysma is going to come in with this A2, trigger that A1 again on the Cheshire Cat, and then give the Cheshire Cat an insta-turn if it kills someone. It's a very, very powerful combo. As far as the rest of the team is concerned, we probably want to run our Arbiter in Classic Arena, right, with this nice, juicy turn meter fill, as well as our Padre, who is my second fastest champion on the account, just to make sure that nobody's cutting in on us, but we are relatively fast, so I'm not super worried here. So let's get into regular arena before we get into live arena and see what's going on here. So gonna go ahead and refresh the list. Here's a nice tanky team. I think this is a really, really solid team to run Prysma against, and that's because this team is nice and tanky. So we're going to be seeing the max benefit from all those extra and instant turns that she is giving the cat, right? So let's see what we can make of this. High Keeper Prysma is not a champion that there's a lot of content on, so we'll see how you guys like Prysma. All right, so we're going to boost up. We're going to go ahead and boost up again with Padre. Nice. They're slow, as is expected from a tanky team. Nice. Okay, so they weren't very well built then. All right, we're going to go in. I actually don't want an A2. I don't want an A2, and the reason for that is because I need the A2 to strip the unkillable. So let's go ahead and ally attack with Padre. Sweet. Okay, there's that. And we got nuked. Okay, but it's okay. It doesn't matter because we're still going to win. All right, there we go. Yeah, so interesting. You can use the A2 as a bit of a buff strip there. I expect that this team is going to be fast, although they are level 86, so we'll give them a shot. Not entirely sure what's going to go on here. Are we faster? Yes, we are. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn meter fill. We're going to go ahead and turn meter fill again. Good stuff there. All right, so Cheshire Cat comes in with the AoE. Nice. He's going to go in and A1. Cool. And then we're going to get an ally attack. And the team is just deleted. Nice stuff. We did get an instant turn on the cat, but he didn't even need it. All right, here's another relatively tanky team. Let's see what we can do. We are using quite a few Spirit Affinity champions for this squad. So you might want to replace your Padre with, some other turn meter filler. We're going to go in with the AoE. Nice. He gets an extra turn. Nice. Okay, we didn't even need Prysma to come in there. So Prysma is just going to be basically our failsafe, right? She's going to be, he is going to be our failsafe. Okay, so we boost again. We boost again. Nice. So the cat is going to come in and give us that AoE. Complete wipe. The cat is just such a strong nuker, right? It's really effective. Man, you can't use the cat against Harima. That is unfortunate. However, this is a nice tanky team. And they're probably slow in Stone Skin. So we're going to go ahead and see what exactly the cat can do for us in regards to this squad. So, yep, all in Stone Skin as expected. We boost up. We're going to go ahead and turn meter fill. Nice. Let's go ahead and AoE. Cool. And then who do we want to buff strip? Let's buff strip the Narcies. All right, cool. So there we go. We ignored more defense. That's exactly what we want to see. We're going to go ahead and turn meter fill again. We're going to have, let's use Padre here to use the weird spores. Cool. We're just going to slowly be breaking through that Stone Skin, right? And we got nuked by the Narcies. So we weren't quite fast enough. Narcies does have that annoying little passive where he doesn't take damage outside of his active turn. That's going to be a fast team. Let's get into live arena, guys. Let's get into live arena. See exactly what High Keeper Prysma can do there. As you saw, a very solid champion for arena, right? A very solid champion. The passive doesn't do much work. I think the passive is actually better in Hydra, which is the other place he is good for. I almost said she again. But the other place that he is good for is Hydra. The only, downside, you're not going to get full advantage of his kit because no instant turns in Hydra, which, that would be awesome. I think that it would be pretty cool. But, it's not meant to be. There's the Arbiter. We're going to ban the Arbiter because we have to go first with this team. I do need to, I need to champion tag my Prysma so that Prysma isn't going to be seen as much of a threat. I don't see Prysma at all. I don't know if it's just that not many people have him or if people think he's not good, but I think he's pretty good. Like, theoretically, especially paired with the cat, right? And AoE A1. Ban Kimi. Kimi's going to be faster. They ban the cat. Okay. They have Arbiter. Okay. I bet this one's going to be a loss. But that's okay. That is A-okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah, they were faster. Oof. Warlord's going to lock us out. That's the other thing you might want to do. Build your Prysma with high resistance. Dang. Just extra turns all over. Ouch. All right. Not going to waste y'all's time with this. The new season has come, guys, so make sure if you want any of these rewards, you can go ahead and grind them out. All that good stuff. We're just going to do 5 fights today. Just going to be 5 fights. We're going to see what exactly High Keeper Prysma is capable of. We've got this dude in a very good clan. All right, so I do get to pick first, which means I get my Arbiter. Fabian and Armand's not going to be as important here because Prysma is going to be our crowd control with that A1 of his. It's a he. Oof. Okay, so they took our arena auras. Oh man, what do? I gotta pick another nuker. The Yak Man. The Yak Man will be our nuker. Okay, cool. The Yak Man will be our nuker, and then we'll go Podrick and Prysma. He's nice affinity for this. You can see the difference without a cat's gaze. I took off his cat's gaze and I put it on Kaldor. You can see quite the difference. Let's see what's going to be going on here. So there's a Marius, there's a Tormund, there's a Cardinal. I'm going to ban Tormund. I don't really want to get frozen. They're probably going to ban Arbiter, I would assume. But let's see. We do have a Speed Aura in the cat, but it's not a great Speed Aura. They banned the cat. Interesting. All right. Well, at least we get our Prysma. They took Armand. We're going to have to see how fast they are. I don't think we have a turn meter seal anywhere on the team. Okay, they go first. Interesting. So the Armands must be speedy. I've noticed that a lot of people have been rebuilding their Armands lately, which is kind of cool. It's cool to see him get a little bit of love. He's no longer the ban bait that he once was. Dang. Well, let's if we can hope to get a turn. Nah, no, we didn't get a turn there. Ouch. Big ouch. All right, let's keep going here. See what we can do. We just need to get a turn. Really, we just need to get a turn. But yeah, if you guys have this champion, let me know if or where you use him. Interesting. It's a bot. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Is this an anime name or something? I have no idea. It sounds Japanese. Nell. Interesting first pick. So Nell opener. Let's go. I'm going to go with Wukong here. I'm going to go with Wukong for the extra speed aura. Not that we need it against the bot, but you know, just as a proof of concept. So then we're going to go, I doubt Prysma is getting picked. So let's go Podrick with Cheshire next. Like, I have literally never fought a Prysma ever, which is, he's just rare to see in live arena. Hopefully we're going to be changing that with this video. Let's see what we've got. Stultus and Rhonda aren't bad. They're not bad nukers. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's ban, who's going to be fast here? Nell? Is Nell the problem? Let's ban the Nell. Okay, they banned the Arbiter. Should have picked the Wukong first, I guess. I don't know. They're really slow. I wonder if there's going to be Stone Skin. The bots have gotten a little bit more strategic. So there's Rhonda. Okay, let's see what we've got. All right, so we do get to go first. Pretty expected here. We boost. We're going to go ahead and use the kitty to go like that. Oh, man, come on. That wasn't fun. Okay. All right. One more. Or sorry, 2 more. That wasn't any fun. We got to use our Prysma. All right. We've got Trezor. All right. Let's go ahead and should we first pick the Arbiter? Let's first pick the Arbiter. We really need that double source of turn meter fill, and almost nobody uses Podrick in live arena, although I have seen him a little bit more. I do think he's good. He's a buffer, which means he's weak against like supersonic sets and the Queen of Hearts and stuff. But other than that, I think he's good. All right, we're going to go Armand's Cat. I need another nuker that has a speed aura. And before you all tell me to get He-Man in the comments, you should have gotten He-Man. Or maybe I should have gotten He-Man. But I didn't get He-Man. Maybe I'll build my Armands as a nuker. You never know. You never know. All right, they've got Noelle and Wukong, Leo and Mithrala. Interesting choices. All right, Prysma. Another option, you could build Prysma for damage. I don't think his multipliers are amazing, but you could build him for damage. And the other thing is, when you're picking one nuker like this, the nuker is far more likely to be banned because of Prysma. Yeah, and that's unfortunate. For the last fight, we might try to just forego our speed aura for another nuker. Potentially. We will see. But we definitely need the 2 turn meter fillers. We definitely need the cat. Let's go ahead and ban. Who do we want to ban? Oof. If they ban Armands, the best one to ban is Noelle. Yes, they do ban Armands. Okay. Awesome. They didn't want to get soloed by the Armons. All right, so we're going to pick Arbiter here. We should be going first. Noelle isn't on their team to give them any sort of speed. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Lady Noelle has not made the impact that a lot of people thought she'd make, but she has made quite an impact on the meta. All right, let's go ahead and turn meter fill. We're going to go ahead and turn meter fill again. It almost has another turn already. All right, we're going to go ahead and bang. Oof. Nice stuff. Okay, so then we're going to phase claw the heck out of that there, UDK. All right, let's strip that. And see, there we go. The stone skin is almost dead, and there's the instant turn. Just the cat just putting in the work here. Now we have an ally attack, and that's super cool as well, right? You can use Queen of Hearts, for example, with your Prysma, and then you will just go ahead and A1. There's the stun. We're going to go ahead and turn meter fill again. And then we A1 for the victory. That was the best showcase of Prysma we've done this far in the video. Let's do one more just for good measure, guys. He's a fun champ. He's a fun champ. As you can see, the cat was just absolutely spamming the A1s. We've got Axel here. We've got Axel from the clan Dark for Real. All right, we do pick first. We're going to pick that Arbiter once again. There's so many clans in Raid Shadow Legends. It's insane. All right, they got their Lysandra and they got their Georgid. Nice. I've got my Wukong and I've got my Kitty because those are more commonly picked than Padraig and Prysma. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Their Yumiko there. Ooh, they're trying to outspeed us. They are trying to outspeed us. Let's see who else. We've seen a lot of Leo today. Hegemon. Ban the Hegemon. They banned the Arbiter. All right. I bet we're going to get outsped, which means we're going to get locked out. But I hope not. I hope not. That would be unfortunate. All right. Then y'all are going to have to say it with me. Let's see. We do go first. Wow. Okay. Boost. Cool. Okay, Kitty. Come on. Yes. Good Kitty. Kill the... Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Phase Claw for the win. Let's go. Nice. Haha. Good old Prysma with the buff strep there. All right, y'all. Well, let me know what you think of this champion in the comments below. Again, this showcase isn't going to cover Hydra. We're going to do that probably in a different video once I have the chance to kind of like get a team built around him and all that kind of stuff and kind of figure out how he works best in that content. Holy cow. I don't think we went over the sets that he was in. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I completely forgot. So I have him in Merciless and Pinpoint. 4-piece Merciless so that we get the 30% chance to reduce a random skill's cooldown by 1 turn when dealing damage so that, you know, we get that Shining Blitz off more. That's really... And of course, he has a double hit A1, so that's like each time he deals damage, he gets a 30% chance to decrease the cooldown. Pretty awesome stuff there, right? And then Pinpoint, of course. Feral for the extra accuracy and Pinpoint for the extra speed. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this champion in the comments below. I have been Felrus, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends, bringing you the High Keeper Prysma Arena Showcase, and I will see you in another video.